we already talked about the super hike. It seems like that's already taken a lot of the focus in these oil markets. But what's expected today?
Yeah, absolutely, Yvonne. So I'm standing right in front of the Hofburg Palace. You can see it right behind me. That is where the OPEC seminar is set to take place over the next couple of days. We're standing outside. We have asked for accreditation. Despite multiple requests, we have not heard back from them yet. But this is, as you say, an opportunity to hear from some of the biggest industry leaders around the world to take stock, really, of everything that has happened in these oil markets over the last couple of weeks. And remember, it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about geopolitical premium and the possibility of oil moving all the way up to more than $100, $110 on back of that Iran-Israel war. And now that there's a ceasefire there, pretty much all of that geopolitical premium has been unwound. Then last week, we had the announcement out of OPEC Plus that they were putting back even more barrels to the market than had been anticipated. And you look at where oil is trading today, actually seems to have taken everything in its stride. So over here, there are going to be lots of discussions about both the short-term and the long-term dynamics of oil. When I talk about long-term dynamics, I'm talking about some of those bigger themes like energy transition, energy security, energy poverty, especially in some of those emerging market nations, in addition to incorporating technology into energy solutions. And of course, artificial intelligence, AI, is a major theme there. But when it comes to the short-term dynamics, certainly this is going to be an opportunity for us to get a feel for how some of these OPEC ministers, non-OPEC ministers, some of the leading think tanks, and analysts around the world are thinking about the dynamics, not least because so much supply seems to be hitting these markets. And as of now, there hasn't been so much of an impact. But I guess the question is that going to change in coming months?
Yeah, it's right. It's quite counterintuitive, the response that we got from oil prices, right? There's a prospect of increased supply, but oil prices actually have been heading lower. More broadly, what is the feeling in the industry overall?
Yeah, I think the feeling from OPEC's perspective when they put out that announcement over the weekend was that the market fundamentals could justify them adding these extra barrels, and namely because we are in the summer season now. Seasonal demand tends to be strong at this time of the year because of refinery usage, because of extra demand, the seasonals in the Gulf countries, air conditioning units, transport demand in the U.S. But all of that is set to start declining in the coming months. And then you could be in a situation where the market is oversupplied. And indeed, many Wall Street analysts are saying that that is what's going to happen. Only this morning, I was reading a note out of RBC. They're predicting that by the fourth quarter of this year, you're going to see 600,000 barrels a day of demand growth versus 2.3 million barrels a day of supply growth, i.e. supply is outpacing demand by 4 times. And that tallies up with some of the commentary that you're getting through from other analysts like Goldman Sachs, Citi, JP Morgan as well. So Wall Street are warning that because of this oversupply, you will start to see prices drift lower, perhaps end up around the $60 mark, some even going as low as the mid-50 mark. So that's one thing to bear in mind. The other thing, of course, is what happens with these demand dynamics based on macro uncertainty, the impact that all these tariffs are going to have on final demand, consumer demand, whether those fiscal packages that have come through from the U.S. in China as well are going to move the needle on demand too, something to watch out for. And then finally, I would say, Yvonne, watch out for U.S. production, because already at this level, what you're seeing is the number of active oil rigs has started decreasing. Shale oil producers have started drilling less. So maybe actually you'll start to see a moderation of supply coming through from U.S. producers in the coming months.